If you want to sound like a native English speaker, the secret really isn't learning bigger or, more complicated words.
Right, yeah. It's actually kind of the exact opposite.
Exactly. It's about combining the absolute smallest, simplest words in the entire language to create entirely new and sometimes completely unpredictable meanings.
It's such a fascinating linguistic paradox, honestly. I mean, you spend years memorizing these sturdy, reliable verbs, right? Like get, put, take, look.
Yeah, the basics.
Right, the basics.
Yeah.
You think you have the foundational building blocks of the language totally secured, but then you hear people actually speaking out in the real world, and those basic elements they're constantly colliding with tiny, unassuming prepositions.
They're words like up, off, out. From.
Exactly. Okay, let's unpack this, because it really is sort of like a chemical reaction.
Oh, I love that analogy.
Right, you take the word take, which feels incredibly safe, and you take the word off, which is simple enough, and you smash them together.
And suddenly, you aren't just moving an object anymore. You literally have a 300-ton commercial airplane launching into the sky.
Which is wild when you think about it.
It really is. So welcome to today's deep dive, everyone. We are exploring a highly practical guide today that focuses entirely on 20 everyday phrasal verbs.
Specifically designed for B1-B2 English learners, right?
Yeah, exactly. Our mission today is to unlock the hidden chemistry of the English language. We aren't just going to read a boring list of definitions.
No, that wouldn't be very helpful.
Right. We are going to trace these specific combinations through the natural arc of a single, typical day, just to see how native speakers actually use them to navigate the real world.
Because honestly, phrasal verbs are the absolute lifeblood of conversational English.
They really are.
Yeah, I mean, relying solely on formal single-word verbs might make you grammatically correct, sure, but it acts like this invisible wall between you and natural fluency.
It makes you sound like a textbook, basically.
Exactly. Without these specific combinations, you miss the entire organic rhythm of the language. It's how human beings actually communicate nuance, movement, and emotion.
So let's start right where the day begins, right? The alarm blares.
The worst part of the day.
Honestly, yeah. And instantly, English throws this sort of philosophical curveball at us. We don't just have one verb for starting the day. We have wake up and get up.
Right. And they capture two entirely different states of human existence, really. Wake up simply marks the return of consciousness.
Just the biological mechanism of sleep ending.
Exactly. Your eyes open. The source guide we're looking at uses a very standard, relatable example for this. It says, I usually wake up at 7 a.m.
But wait, I mean, my eyes being open definitely doesn't mean my day has actually started.
Oh, absolutely not.
I can easily wake up at 7 a.m., just stare at the ceiling, and absolutely refuse to move a muscle until 7:30.
Which is perfectly natural. And that brings in the absolute necessity of get up. That is the physical commitment to facing the world.
Yeah, it requires actual willpower.
It does. It requires hauling your body against the force of gravity out from under the covers.
The struggle is real.
It is. The source material actually features a great mini dialogue for this. Someone asked, did you get up early today? And the response is, not really. I stayed in bed for 20 more minutes.
Okay, so we are splitting the psychological return to reality from the physical movement. And the word up implies the shift from horizontal to vertical.
Right. You're physically elevating yourselves into the day. That spatial direction is so crucial to understanding English.
We'll see up constantly used to signify an increase in activity, readiness, or completion. Right?
Yeah, exactly. You go from a state of rest, flat in bed, to an active vertical state.
Okay, so the body's vertical, we're up. Now we need to get to rest and actually interact with our environment. Enter our next two verbs, put on and take off.
Right.
Now, put on makes total physical sense to me. You are literally placing clothes, shoes, or maybe a watch onto your body.
The guide sets up a really common scenario for this. It says, is it cold outside? Yes, you should put on a coat.
Makes perfect sense. But the counterpart, take off, is where the conceptual mapping of English gets really interesting.
Oh, definitely. We use it for removing clothing like, please take off your shoes by the door.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned earlier, we also use it for an airplane leaving the tarmac.
Yeah. The plane takes off at 8.45.
Exactly.
But how did we get from removing sneakers in a hallway to a massive jet launching into the stratosphere? It seems so disconnected.
Well, think about the core physical concept of the word off. It means detachment, It means breaking contact with a surface.
Oh, I see.
Right. So when you take off your shoes, you are physically detaching them from your feet. When an airplane takes off, it is detaching its wheels from the surface of the earth.
Wow, okay. The literal scale of the action is wildly different, but the underlying logic, breaking physical contact with the surface, is totally identical.
Exactly.
I've literally never thought about it as a shared concept of detachment before. You're breaking the physical connection.
It's all about space and movement.
Okay, let's keep moving through the house. Before we walk out the front door, we have to prepare the space, right? We turn on the lights, then you turn off the television.
And we use these verbs for almost every machine, device, or digital interface in our modern lives. Like, it's dark in here, I'll turn on the lamp.
Or, are you still watching this? No, you can turn it off.
Right.
But wait, why turn? I mean, I push a flat button on my smartphone, I flip a plastic switch on the wall. I'm not physically turning anything in a circle.
Okay, so it's actually a linguistic fossil.
A fossil? Wait, really?
Yeah. Before electricity, lighting meant gas lamps, right? To light a room, you literally had to reach up and physically turn a metal valve to allow the combustible gas to flow.
Oh, wow.
And then you had to turn it back to stop the flow. The technology evolved from gas valves to electrical switches to digital touch screens, but the verb turn was permanently frozen in the language.
That is amazing. We are walking around pushing flat glass screens and still talking like Victorian lamplighters.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so we are awake, dressed, the lights are off, and we head out into the world. Moving through a typical day involves a lot of logistics.
It sure does.
Here's where it gets really interesting, because there's a pair of verbs that operate almost like bookends for any kind of transportation or errand.
You're talking about pick up and drop off.
Exactly.
They're the essential push and pull of moving things around in space. Pick up is just the act of collecting. You retrieve a person or a package or even a coffee.
Right. Like, can you pick me up after work? Sure, I'll be there at 6.
Or meeting to pick up a brother from the airport at 6, which is another example from the source.
And you rarely have a pickup without an eventual drop-off. You take the person or the thing, you transport them, and you leave them at a destination.
Yeah. Can you drop me off at the station? Of course, it's on my way.
Look at the directional particles again, too. Up implies elevating something from its resting place, like picking a package up from a counter to take it with you.
And off implies that detachment we talked about earlier. You are detaching the passenger from your vehicle at their destination.
Collecting and depositing. Makes total sense. Now, as we navigate our daily route, we aren't just moving people in boxes. We are often trying to locate things.
Which introduces a really fascinating split in how we talk about searching. We have look for and we have find out.
Right. The difference between these two verbs reveals how English basically separates the physical world from the abstract cognitive world.
Exactly. You look for physical objects. You misplace your wallet, so you look for it. You look for your keys, your glasses, your parked car.
The visual action is directed outward into the physical space around you, like the universally relatable source dialogue. What are you looking for? My wallet. I can't find it anywhere.
We've all been there.
Oh, absolutely. But then find out isn't about physical objects at all.
No, it's purely about abstract information. You discover truths or schedules or hidden secrets. Our source gives the example. Do you know where the event is? Not yet, but I'll find out.
So you don't look for what time the meeting starts. You might look for the printed memo that contains the schedule, but you find out the actual conceptual time.
Right. What's fascinating here is the word out and find out. It's a conceptual metaphor.
How so?
Well, imagine information hidden inside a dark box or a closed room. When you discover it, you are conceptually pulling it out into the light, out into your own awareness.
Oh, I like that.
You are extracting the abstract truth from the unknown.
Pulling the truth out of the dark, that makes find out sound like the ultimate detective verb.
It kind of is.
Of course, no day goes perfectly, logistics fail, roadblocks happen, we hit friction, and the most common daily friction is realizing you don't have something you need.
Which means you run out of it.
Yes, the ultimate morning tragedy. Can I have some coffee? Sure, but we ran out of sugar.
Or running out of gas on the highway. It signifies that a supply has been completely exhausted.
I get the out of part, you know? The visual is easy, the container is literally empty. But why run? The sugar isn't sprinting away from me.
That's a good point. Run, in this context, implies a continuous mechanical flow or operation.
Yeah.
A river runs. A machine runs.
Okay.
So when the process reaches its absolute end and empties the supply, it has run out. The continuous flow has basically ground to a halt.
Ah, so my coffee routine is a machine that broke down. Makes sense. Sometimes, though, instead of a supply emptying, something totally unexpected drops into our path.
Right, we come across it.
This is the verb of pure chance, right? It implies finding something without any intention of looking for it.
Exactly, like, where did you find that book? I came across it in a small shop.
I always visualize two literal paths intersecting. Like, I'm walking one way, the vintage book is just sitting there in the shop, and our paths form across. I came across it.
That's a great way to picture it.
But what if the thing that drops into my path isn't a cool vintage book, but like a massive headache, a crisis at work, or an angry email from a client?
Well, then you have to deal with it. You must manage a problem, a task, or a complicated situation. The source is a good example. You look busy. Yes, I'm dealing with a problem at work.
Deal with always carries this heavy obligatory weight to it. It's never really fun to deal with things. It implies mental and physical effort.
It definitely does.
And when that effort gets to be too much, there is the intense temptation to just give up.
To stop trying, to completely surrender to the obstacle.
The source actually has a very encouraging mini dialogue for this exact feeling aimed specifically at language learners.
Oh, yeah, I remember this one.
Speaker A complains, English phrasal verbs are difficult. And Speaker B replies, I know, but don't give up.
It's incredibly apt for language learning. And notice the spatial direction again, up.
Right.
Think of the historical act of surrender, handing your sword up to the victor on horseback or throwing your hands up in the air. You are physically tossing your efforts away, upwards.
That's such a strong visual, which contrasts brilliantly with our next verb, which is all about maintaining forward momentum. Keep up.
Meaning to continue at the exact same speed or level as someone or something else. Like, the teacher speaks so fast. Yes, it's difficult to keep up sometimes.
You know, keep up sounds utterly exhausting to me.
How come?
It feels like being on a treadmill, but someone else, like a fast-talking native speaker or a demanding boss, has the remote control for the speed dial.
Oh, that's a perfect analogy.
I'm just sprinting, trying desperately not to fly off the back of the belt. I'm trying to keep up my position against an external force.
That treadmill analogy highlights the external pressure perfectly. You are forced to match a pace dictated by your environment.
Yeah.
But we don't just react to external pressure, we also proactively build our own environments. We have to set up our lives.
Preparing or organizing something from scratch so it can actually function. Like buying a new piece of technology. Is your computer ready? Not yet. I still need to set it up.
Think about the physical, historical act of building here. When you build a house, pitch a tent, or assemble a wooden desk, you are taking flat, disassembled pieces on the ground and arranging them upward.
Right, into a working three-dimensional structure.
Exactly. And we've mapped that physical act of vertical construction directly onto digital devices. We conceptually build them. We set up software. We set up a new phone.
Building a digital tent, I love it. Now, once everything is set up, we still face abstract problems that require a different kind of effort. We have to work out solutions.
And this verb has a fascinating dual identity that trips a lot of people up.
It really does, because on a purely physical level, workout means to exercise. Like, do you work out? Yes, I go to the gym after work.
You are working your physical muscles to the point of exhaustion.
But we also use it for abstract problem solving and emotional reassurance, like, don't worry, everything will work out, or we need to work out a new marketing plan.
The conceptual bridge between the gym and the boardroom here is the idea of exertion resulting in a positive extraction.
Positive extraction.
Yeah, you are applying intense effort to extract a result. You are working the math problem or the personal conflict until the solution finally comes out.
Sweat equity for the brain. But wait, if a colleague texts me and says, I need to work out, are they going to lift heavy weights? Or are they sitting quietly at their desks solving a supply chain issue?
And that is where environmental context becomes your ultimate decoder ring.
Right.
The English language relies heavily on the surrounding situation to clarify phrasal verbs. If your colleague is wearing running shoes and carrying a water bottle, they are exercising.
And if they are staring intently at a whiteboard full of numbers with a marker in hand, they are solving a problem.
Exactly. The verb is identical. The environment dictates the reality.
The language just completely trusts the listener to read the room. Okay, so we've dealt with problems, we've set up our devices, we've worked out our complicated issues, the sun is going down.
Finally.
The workday is winding down, it's time for social connection, it's time to hang out.
Probably one of the most casual, relaxed verbs in the entire English language. It basically means to spend time with someone with absolutely no strict agenda.
Like, what are you doing later? I'm just hanging out with some friends.
Yeah. It feels like the deliberate suspension of time. When clothes hang on a line, they aren't doing anything active. They're just suspended there, resting, blowing in the breeze.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Right. When we hang out, we suspend all our stressful plans and just peacefully exist together.
A perfect image of relaxation. But of course, even in our most relaxed moments, obligations try to pull us back. The phone rings, you can't answer it, so you have to call back.
Returning a phone call. Can you talk right now? Sorry, I'm in a meeting. I'll call you back. It acts like a verbal placeholder.
The word back here signifies a return journey, right?
Exactly. The communication flew through the air to you. You couldn't catch it or receive it properly in that moment, so you have to send it back to its origin point when you are ready.
It's the boomerang of our social lives.
The communication boomerang. I like that. Finally, as the day truly comes to an end, we cast our vision forward. We look forward to tomorrow.
To anticipate something in the future with genuine pleasure or excitement, the guide has, "Are you excited about your trip?" Yes, I'm really looking forward to it.
We are visualizing time as a physical path. The past is physically behind our bodies. The future is physically in front of our eyes.
So we look forward down the road to see the good things coming toward us. But I do wonder about the tone of this particular verb.
What do you mean?
Well, I see look forward to at the very end of incredibly stiff, formal business emails all the time. Like, I look forward to hearing from your legal team.
Oh, sure.
Does it sound weird if I use it with my friends when we were just hanging out on a couch?
Not at all. That's the beauty of its extreme versatility. You can use it in a high-stakes corporate negotiation with a CEO, and you can use it to tell your best friend how excited you are to eat pizza on Friday night.
Oh, that's great.
The core human emotion, positive anticipation of the future, remains the exact same across all social contexts.
That's super helpful. So we've traced these 20 verbs through the chronological arc of a day. But, knowing the definitions in isolation isn't quite enough.
No, it's not. If we connect this to the bigger picture, knowledge is only valuable when applied. We need to see why relying entirely on formal, single-word verbs sounds unnatural to a native ear.
Theory only takes us so far. We really need to look at how these phrasal verbs actually smooth out the rough edges of daily conversation. Let's compare the literal textbook way of speaking with the natural phrasal way.
Let's do it.
Okay, I'm going to take some sentences straight from our source material. I'll read the perfectly grammatical but slightly formal or clunky versions that you might find in an old grammar book.
And I'll jump in and give you how a native speaker would actually express the same thought in the real world.
Perfect. Here's the first one. I awoke at 7 a.m.
A native speaker would naturally say, I woke up at 7 a.m.
I left my bed at 7:30.
We'd say, I got up at 7:30.
I need to collect my friend from the airport.
Make it conversational.
Yeah.
I need to pick up my friend from the airport.
We have exhausted our supply of coffee.
Far too dramatic. Just say, we ran out of coffee.
I discovered the answer.
I found out the answer.
I am anticipating the weekend with pleasure.
Simply, I'm looking forward to the weekend.
It really is a night and day difference, isn't it? The formal versions sound like I'm reading a Victorian novel aloud, or maybe filing a very dry police report.
Yeah, they do.
They aren't wrong, but they completely lack that conversational warmth.
Phrasal verbs provide essential texture. They take a stiff, two-dimensional sentence and give it real-world, three-dimensional movement. They are the casual shorthand of genuine human connection.
So what does this all mean? Let's lock this entire sequence into memory with a fast, energetic rundown of the 20 essential verbs that power a typical English day.
Go for it.
The alarm rings, you wake up to consciousness, then you physically get up out of bed. You put on a jacket to brave the cold, maybe take off your shoes at the door while watching massive planes take off into the sky.
Nice.
You turn on the lights and turn off the TV. You pick up a friend and drop off a package. You look for your lost keys in the physical world, but you find out the abstract truth.
Keep going.
You run out of coffee, come across an unexpected old photo, and furiously deal with a sudden problem at work. But you never give up. You sprint on the treadmill to keep up with the fast pace of the world, set up your new laptop, and work out at the gym or work out a complex solution.
Almost there.
Finally, you hang out with friends in suspended time, call back missed connections, and look forward to a brand new day tomorrow.
That is a remarkably powerful linguistic toolkit. And before we wrap up today, let's step back and look at the underlying architecture of what we just explored.
Yeah, what's the big takeaway?
Notice how intensely the English language relies on physical, spatial directions, up, down, in, out, off to describe completely invisible, abstract ideas.
Like pulling truth out of the dark or tossing our efforts up into the air when we surrender.
Exactly. That is